Dream Warriors, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are you? I am Peter, AKAPAD, Peter Anthony DeLuca from AKAPad.com. I am your host. I'm your pop culture fanatic, and today we're talking Survivor Series 2018. Now, if you're not familiar with WWE, don't worry, I'll bring you up to speed. But before we even get there, I'm going to talk about my life for a little bit, because that's what I like to do on the Dream Warrior show. Your source of everything geek, including football. Let's hit that music and jump to... How is everyone doing? Oh my God, I've been up since about 4 o'clock in the morning. I've been going hard. Right now it's about 8 a.m. So I've been up for about 4 hours, and I still have to shower, potentially work out, and then make my way into the office. But hey, the Dream Warriors is a pop culture train that doesn't stop. And a little bit of one of our missions now is I'm kind of focusing the show on I'm calling it criticism of the cynicism, because I just feel like everything is so negative right now around pop culture. Everyone's an expert, everyone's a critic. I know I'm guilty of that, right? Because if I didn't think I was an expert, why would I have a podcast? But there's like all of these things happening, and it just upsets me, because even when we get into wrestling, it's so everyone, every single like commentator does nothing, like all the wrestling commentary. I'm trying to line up my thoughts here, but all the wrestling commentary is just what I would be doing, and what WWE and whoever else, what they're doing wrong. And there's really a little adulation, appreciation, or I think even nuance to some of the psychology and storylines, because that's what makes wrestling so unique. The storylines are one half emotion and the other half psychological, and there's continuity, there's threads, and some of these threads have years callback, meaning you have to go back a couple years just to know what some of the references are. But that's the stuff I like. That's the stuff that magnifies to me, and I think we saw some of this with Dream Warriors 106 with Creed. Because Mark and I are sitting down, and Mark has his like criticisms, but we kind of realized that while I was doing that with him, Mark's only criticism of Reed was that he had criticisms, and a lot of them are like somewhat like unfounded. So what is it? Does this mean that his opinions are invalid? That Mark's opinions are meaningless? 1000% no. What it means though is that you can rate yourself. You can be in the frame. You can be at like a high rating when you sit down for a movie, a TV show, or a comic book, or whatever, and you can be in a good enough frame to where you want the good, you magnify the good, you're drawn towards it, and the good actually infects you, as opposed to having these endless preconceived notions and these ideas and these expectations, and you're only there to be let down and to be upset. I really do not believe this many people like hate the Michael Bay Transformer movies. I don't believe that many people are that upset about Solo, the newest Star Wars movie, or what's happening right now with Captain Marvel, where there's like this outrage. I just feel like people get attention when they're cynical and have outrage, and it actually makes them feel better, and it gives them some importance, and I don't feed into that. Okay, that's not what Dream Warriors is all about. Dream Warriors is about the fun, the love, and sometimes the tragedy of some of these like pop culture landmarks and pieces. Meaning that I'm not going to love everything. That makes no sense. But is there something good in everything? 120,000% yes. So let's just focus on the good and move forward. I don't want to go through life cynical and just being like a bummed out freak. I don't. I'm sorry. I know some of you out there, you live off of that, and you really shouldn't. you should always focus towards the positive. But hey, let's talk about positive things real quick. We got to do some plugs, and these plugs are all about Dream Warriors. If you're listening on this podcast, if you're listening on some of our many platforms, hey, we're like alive and going on Spotify. And if you have Alexa, you can say, Alexa, play Dream Warriors podcast show. Alexa she'll run the newest episode. Now, given those uploads are a separate feed, I'm currently about 7 episodes behind. I'm trying to do 2 uploads a day to kind of maintain some balance and not to kill the feed, because I don't know if there's any algorithms involved. So I'm playing it a little bit safe, but still trying to be productive and move forward with the Alexa or Spotify feed. So I think we're up to episode 96 or 97. So maybe by the end of today, we'll be up to like 99. I'm going to try and do 3 today. But anyway, so if you're listening on SoundCloud, there's a link, help fund the show. That jumps to my Patreon. You can donate a little amount, and what happens is that money gets to be used for the show, for contributors, for future travel, and future equipment upgrades. And there's expenses, period. And sometimes I don't have time to maintain like the thread of Dream Warriors, and I would love to develop talent to do an individual like non-Peter Dream Warriors maybe like once a week. I would love to get to that level. So money enables all of that. So that's one way you guys can help. The other way is if you go to AKAPAD.com, you can donate directly through PayPal. There's a PayPal button. That's highly appreciated. If you go to Etsy, and it's Etsy/AKAPAD, you can purchase like services there. If you need creative services, if you're involved in an industry, websites, logos, branding, I have a lot of my live stream artwork up there available. My Inktober sketchbooks are available. That money definitely is helpful. It gets used, and it puts you and I together. We get to work together and do cool things. But with all of that, there's also social media, AKAPad13, Instagram, Facebook. Huge help in any type of like compliment, push, even criticism, because I want to create a like a feedback loop. AKAPad on the Snapchat and Twitter. And that might be it for plugs. There's also Diamond Dallas Cat. That's my cat. Feel free to follow him on the IG, because we need to get him a cat litter sponsorship. Cat litter is expensive, and Dallas needs some cat litter. But moving forward, just getting to this point to talk to you all about Survivor Series. It's a little bit funny, because I was running into Thanksflicking, and post Thanksgiving, I told this story on Dream Warriors last episode 106 or 105, the Creed 2 episode. I'm losing my numbering here. I literally drove myself into the ground going into Thanksgiving. I had little sleep. I went out on Thanksgiving Eve. I went maybe like 3 days with a handful of hours. Got to see Creed with the family, which was very meaningful to me, because I remember seeing Rocky IV with my sister, and that was such a magnifying movie-going moment. Maybe like the second or third magnifying moment in a theater from my youth. Number one being sitting in Return of the Jedi with my father, with him reading the Jabba the Hutt subtitles to me while I had this like light blue Endor biker scout, Imperial biker scout shirt that I completely loved. And that's maybe like somewhat of my fascination with like sky blue and electric blue. I really do love those colors. But anyway, so and the third magnifying youth movie going experience is number two, my sister crying when Creed died in Rocky IV, and then crying during the movie Baby which was like this, almost like Denver, the Last Dinosaur live action, but before Denver was like Denver. Both of those references you're going to have to look up. But yeah, and so I literally got sick. I drove myself into the ground, and I lost a week. Now, I relatively haven't been sick for 5-6 years, okay? That Saturday, the post-Thanksgiving Saturday, I literally, I slept through this fever. One of my female companions is a doctor. She was even very concerned. And all of this while I was fighting like 2 huge cysts that were on my stomach from ingrown hairs that just randomly appeared and came out of nowhere a week apart. But one of them was so savage that I literally had nearly like a dime-sized hole in my stomach, just exposed, full of like pus and blood. And my only treatment for that was like ointment and band-aids regularly throughout the day. But I felt like my body was at an all-time like weak state. So when I went into like my party mode on Thanksgiving Eve, I was writing my own ticket. You know, like it was madness. I literally gave myself the opportunity to get hit with something amazingly hard because of my immune system. Now, I normally I do a lot of work for my immune system. We can maybe get into that later. If anybody wants to know, you can DM me or hit me up on Twitter. I'll talk to you about what I do for my immune system. But it's very rare that if I do catch something, if I catch like an illness, it's super rare that it knocks me out. For more than like a few hours. Okay, I normally sleep through any type of ailment very quickly, but this one, and I did piss off someone special in my life. I definitely did, because I kind of hyped myself up. I hyped her up that I was going to be available Saturday night because we had this thing to do, and it was bad, Peter. Like I should have. I oversold myself, which is really rare, but I will continue to oversell myself because I love doing things, and I do have FOMO, and I'm victim of that. So even with that, so like this past week, I just been slowly recovering, still working out though, going very heavy at the gym, but it's been knocking me out, and I've been sleeping very well, and my body's been like, I feel my body almost like regenerating itself and coming back, and my mind is getting more and more sharp, and I'm just feeling it, and I'm loving it. But along the way, every single one of my Black Friday orders either came broken, damaged, or wrong item. So I got that to deal with this week, and that is very annoying. And I'm talking WWE and Flag Nor Fail. Both of you guys failed me. Even Mitchell and Ness in Philly, you guys failed me. I'm so annoyed at all of this. But with all that being said, let's rock and roll. Let's get into SummerSlam 2018 World Wrestling Entertainment. Now, this broadcast, and I call it broadcast, look, it's available on the WWE streaming network. The air date was November 18th, so look, I'm way behind on this. They already did and brought back Starrcade after this, and I really wanted to watch the Starrcade, so I might just do a Starrcade immediately soon, like very soon, because also upcoming we have Cinemas, Xmas, Christmas, Cinemas, and we're going to be doing Christmas movies coming up very soon, and I'm just going to drop those into the feed. If you like them, listen to them, not skip them, but this is still not the 31 Days of Dread, and it's not Thanks Flicking. Thanks Flicking was somewhat of a failure analytically, but I'm going to continue it because I love tradition, and Cinemas is going to be an experimentation. It's going to be like a mix between my method for the 31 Days of Dread and Thanks Flicking, because I feel like people love Christmas movies, but everyone has a different idea of what a Christmas movie is, because, people will put Die Hard, Gremlins, Batman Returns. They're not Christmas movies. They take place during Christmas. And I was going to do an episode that preps all of that and announces episodes, the entire lineup, as I did with Thanks Flicking. But so getting into Survivor Series, I was blown. So I was a little bit out of what was happening on Raw and SmackDown. It's tough for me to stay 100% on top of that while football's happening, while the NFL is doing the NFL thing, because we're having one heck of a season. Even right now, I mean, we got two marquee players. One's going to prison, and the other one's getting kicked out of the league for maybe like half a year, which is phenomenal. That these guys are still acting the way they are acting. I'm trying to get John here so we can talk NFL again very soon. We'll do that. I think he wanted to come by today, so maybe him and I will record today for a tomorrow drop. But so I was a little bit out of these storylines for WWE, and I missed the biggest one. And it wasn't Ronda Rousey, and it wasn't Braun Strowman, and it wasn't Brock Lesnar. It was Daniel Bryan turning heel during a match with AJ Styles. I didn't realize this happened until I sat down to watch Survivor Series, and they WWE is so masterful with their promos that I was immediately caught up. Okay, that's how great they are. This is how anyone right now, you can subscribe to the WWE Network. It's like $9 a month. It's probably the most value of all of the streaming services next to Netflix. It is the second best one next to Netflix. I can't say that. You guys get what I'm saying. You guys get what I'm putting down. You can still hear my cough. See, I'm still congested, but it's well worth the money. But if you're not following everything week to week, these pay-per-views now have these promos, and they set everything up perfectly. You really don't have to be up to speed. You can just jump right in, and they're so good with that. I don't think enough of the wrestling commentators make that point. You can catch up very quickly and very easily. Marvel Comics and DC Comics should take note to what WWE is doing, because their continuity-based storytelling, not so much anymore. But if they ever wanted to get back to it and return to form, you can learn a lot with WWE and cherry pick some fantastic ideas. So I missed the pre-show. The pre-show stuff, I don't know where to find it on the network. Maybe someone can help me. But there were some matches on the pre-show that I missed. So the pay-per-view opens, and we have the Team Raw against Team SmackDown, and it's the girls versus the girls. And look, it's so substantial that the women now, their opening and then their second main event. Okay, that's what we had 7 matches. Of the 7, the 2 big ones were like 2 of the girls, and at one time you would roll your eyes. Okay, but not anymore. These women know the beats, and they know how to sell what they have, and it's not the men, but it's different, and it's good. It's good different. So we have Team Raw, led by Alexa Bliss, my babe. I have such a crush on Alexa Bliss. Chalk Line, the jacket company, is coming out. They're releasing a Alexa Bliss jacket that I am like waiting to order because I need it. I don't know why, but she's so freaking hot. I want a jacket of her. And she's short, and I love short girls. Anyone that's had dirty time with a shorter girl when you're tall, that's kind of like in shape. It sticks to you, like it never leaves. And it's a little bit like cocaine and crack. You just keep craving it. Not that I can speak for crack, but I can definitely speak for cocaine. But no. So Team Raw already has the advantage. It has Tamia, Nia Jax, Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Mickie James. Amazingly talented. Team SmackDown, Carmella, Azuka, I forget everyone else. Azuka, I'm not 100% for. I like her strong style. She's strong style Asian woman. I like her gag. I just don't like that she doesn't speak English. Same thing with Nakamura. Speak English. What's wrong with you? You guys are on American TV. You're making millions. What is wrong with you? Assimilate, please. Do it. Okay? So, just get it over with. The storyline running into this was fantastic because Becky Lynch got nailed in the face 1 or 2 nights earlier on SmackDown one or two tapings earlier or showings earlier in SmackDown, and so she was taken out of the title belt on Survivor Series, and the Nia Jax storyline was like they made her more of a heel, more of a bruiser, because she broke Becky Lynch's nose or busted her face up on live television, and it's awesome. You know, like a bloodied woman going that hard during like somewhat of a brawl on SmackDown or Raw or wherever it was. Try and follow me here, people, because I can't follow myself. I never seen such a thing. It's an amazing accident. Again, happy accidents, but it's now going to be of WWE lore of the bloodied face Becky Lynch. So Becky Lynch got taken out of her bout with Ronda Rousey, which I was like very much looking forward to, and they inserted Charlotte Flair. So that's your second main event. But this ended the way it would. Team Raw wins. They go through SmackDown. Nia Jax, they're cranking her up as not a female Brock Lesnar, but they're cranking her up as a heel bruiser, and it's so much easier to get behind some of the heel bruisers than it is for like some of the baby faces. This was always the problem with like someone like Daniel Bryan and even someone AJ Styles. Even though I think AJ Styles is potentially one of the best heel champion potentially since Hulk Hogan. If we're talking heel champions, it's Hulk Hogan, AJ Styles. I'm not sure who else. I mean, Ultimate Warrior too, but again, we're talking like single reign here. But AJ has proven himself. So from there we go to two of the best performers: Seth Rollins, Izuki Nakamura. Two of my favorite intros, two of my favorite acts, two of my favorite personalities. Seth Rollins is not heel. I hate that he's not heel, but this match was spectacular. What if the women opened up fantastic? These two guys followed fantastic. There's very little to be said other than the merging of the styles. So Nakamura, hard style, he has t-shirts about it. Hard style is kicking, punching, getting a little bit rougher. And Seth Rollins has somewhat of a body weight. Like I call it body weight style. He will use your body weight against you and his against, like in his own against you. Meaning that he's picking you up, he's dropping you, he's using gravity to his advantage. It's not Shawn Michaels style. It's not AJ Styles. It's really harnessed by his abilities through his CrossFit. And Seth Rollins, to me, should always be in discussion for multiple belts and multiple championships. I'm craving the day that Seth Rollins returns to the belt. Okay, like he needs to have the strap. I'm sorry. Now we have the AOP. Akam and Razar, and they were going up against the Barred Luck from the ether, from the earth. Cesaro and Sheamus found themselves. This is such an awesome success story. Going into this, you knew that these two guys didn't have a chance, but AOP, they really have something going here. They have a manager, Drake Maverick. Which you can't beat that name, and he's so short, and these guys are so tall. When they cut promos, they literally look like the Twin Towers, just like towering over him, and he's like New Jersey almost. Okay, but it is incredible. It's an incredible tag team. These guys are rough. You do not mess with them. They're a lot like the Brothers Bludgeon. It's a very similar act, very much like Legion of Doom. They're a tough tag team that they look like twins, okay, as we want from tag teams. And that, again, a heck of a match. That was maybe like my first time fully sitting through AOP. They have a good act. Okay, definitely they will retain the titles for quite some time, and God bless them, because I really didn't know who they were, but I liked their look as soon as I saw them, and they delivered against two of the best, Sheamus and Cesaro, and the tag team division right now for SmackDown is so it's just packed. Okay, it's stacked. I'm enjoying it. And then we have potentially the best match of the entire evening: Buddy Murphy and Mustafa Ali. Okay, these are your cruiserweights. This is a typical cruiserweight match. It starts slow, but then it speeds up and it starts to hit the air. This delivered on every single possible level. Buddy Murphy is legit. I really enjoyed that performance. So look, we're going, and we're gonna hit like the little speed bump. The speed bump was Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. I hate to say it. This was a 25 minute match. I was not really into it. I was not captivated. It didn't really pull me in. That could be a little bit of my fault, but Team Raw is just stacked. It's like Ziggler, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Bobby Lashley. Yeah, and during this match, it shows you like how small Finn Balor is compared to like even Dolph. And Drew McIntyre. Okay, I'm happy that Finn Balor somewhat fell off of the championship kind of like conversation, because he's not championship material, but he's a hell of an act. They need to always do stuff with Finn Balor as they do with like any other like supernatural Undertaker-esque act. They need to promote these characters. Again, like Brothers Bludgeon and like their line. It's the same type of thing. Who were the Egyptian guys? That tag team, I forget their name. But I kind of felt bad because those guys should have definitely got they did push them, but they should have kind of like stayed relevant and went maybe a little bit more supernatural. And then we also have Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt definitely Bray Wyatt always needs an active grudge. Finn Balor always needs a high mid card active grudge, because it's such a powerful look. It's such a powerful performance that Finn puts on. He is like a dual personality. People get it. People follow it. It's complex, but I'm sorry, but the 25-minute long Team Raw, Team SmackDown, which is somewhat of the crown jewel of the entire pay-per-view, I was not really into it. But then we have Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair somewhat turns heel at the end of this. She just beats Ronda Rousey silly with a kendo stick. Busts Ronda Rousey's ear. That was cool. That was fun. Again, the size difference between the two, it really kind of showed you that, again, Charlotte Flair is a champion. She looks like a champion. She acts, talks, moves. Ronda Rousey maybe could keep pace with her. I watched this match twice. I was just not convinced that Rousey was getting the most out of Flair. I felt like Flair was compensating her style for Rousey. I know that's a platitude, but that's just how I took it. Now we have the main event, the incredible Brock Lesnar. He's one of my all-time favorites, and Daniel Bryan also. Hey, I'm a Daniel Bryan guy. I never loved him, but I respected the hell out of him. He built a movement out of nothing, and it really is a movement. The last time I saw a movement like this coming out of WWE or wrestling was NWO, but Daniel Bryan really brought something out of the earth with the Yes movement, and wonderfully branded by WWE, by the way, so bravo to the marketers for that. And Brock Lesnar just completely decimated them, and then they had a rise. So they brought Daniel Bryan back into the match, and the crowd really got into it. They got behind it. They loved it. I loved it, but you knew the end was coming. And what did they do? They just cranked up Lesnar. He's still you can't stop him. The only person that can stop Lesnar is Bill Goldberg. Bring back Goldberg, who's next. And then we have the fall of Daniel Bryan. He gets defeated. And the Daniel Bryan heel character went on to the following SmackDown and kind of yelled at everyone for not supporting him or not getting his back while he was injured for those 3 years. So the Daniel Bryan heel turn is just phenomenal. I totally love it. I'm totally behind it. If you're going to take away the title from AJ, have it be a Daniel Bryan heel turn. It's a complete home run. Anyway, so yeah, that's your Survivor Series. Some of the storylines carried through. I'm not sure like how Starrcade lines up with this. I'll let everyone know. And then the next up is Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, TLC. One of my favorite gimmicks, favorite pay-per-views, and I think that's going to go right into Royal Rumble. So those are your next two coming up. I'm going to try and do maybe a little bit more, but definitely going to try and do Starrcade for you all. I love you. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for hanging out. And don't forget, Cinemas is coming. And we got more coming with Mark and then more coming with John. We're going to be doing another NFL pro football episode soon because this season is crazy. We're really hitting like a high peak and we're getting into the playoffs. We're about 4 weeks away from the playoffs. So the wild card weekend, okay? Rock and roll. I love you. Thanks for joining me. And thanks again. Dream Warriors out.